Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit, and I'm here once again with a book that I'm going through for a class of mine. Uh, Based on my recommendation, quite excited about this book. I haven't read it since college, but I finally got through it again and am just as devastated. I read The Book Thief by Markus Zusak, which is narrated by Death, who tells us the whole story a little bit out of order, constantly spoiling things that are going to happen, because for Death, this kind of thing is not so important. And Death is quite busy in this novel because it's set during World War II. It follows the story of this small family of an adopted girl, Liesel Meminger, who is the daughter of some communists. So, not a good start for her in Germany, um, with the rise of the Third Reich. And she's adopted by the Hubermanns, Rosa and oh gosh, I'm forgetting Hans. And she calls them Mama and Papa. She really, really loves her dad. He always takes care of her and does anything he can to make her feel better, and is very sweet. He even trades his cigarettes to get things for her to make her life as easy as possible. He teaches her to read and, gives her opportunities that she didn't have otherwise, out of love and care for her. And then there's Mama, who she does love and seems to love her, but is always insulting her and quite rude. But they have a special connection too. Liesel has a very dear friend, Rudy, who's obsessed with Jesse Owens, who he saw or has heard about from the 1936 Olympics, which were in Nazi Germany. And he was absolutely amazed by this amazing man. And even it's a little inappropriate, but he covers himself in charcoal and starts running around when he's young, um, to emulate his hero, Jesse Owens. Uh, he's always trying to get a kiss from Liesel throughout the novel. And yeah, they've got a really great friendship. There's also another character. His name is Max. He's a Jewish character who is in hiding with the Hubermanns. Eventually, he does leave because of concern for himself and for the family, because the family is under suspicion by Nazi rule. As you see, Hans, his son, is part of the Nazi party, but Hans is not. He has moral conflicts with the regime, who was a painter whose career took a nosedive with the coming of power of the Third Reich, and he's against his own desires, did put an application but never fully accepted the, I guess, the responsibility of being in the party. Until later, he is eventually accepted when the war is going terribly and they need a compulsory duty in all men to serve and this kind of thing, which is troubling, of course. What is great about this novel is that Death is telling you the story. Oftentimes it's out of order, talking about things that will happen much later, then slowly building up to that. Death really struggles to see the dichotomy, if I could say the word. Death struggles to see the dichotomy of man. He recognizes all these horrors that are happening right now. He's very busy because of them, having to pick up all these poor, lost souls, women, children, men, trying to do his best to, with the situation at hand. Um, but he can't reconcile with the kindness and the warmth and the better side of humanity that he's seeing. He doesn't understand how both are possible. And through this novel, he oftentimes tries to make sense of it all. And I think it's really powerful. In that sense, of course, there's so many very good quotes, very good parts to the novel that are very interesting about what death says and what he has to think. There are also these really cool parts. Like there's some drawings in here. This one's of Hitler as a composer, or a conductor, not a composer. There are these other like comic book kind of things too. And then there's another one a little bit later. As Liesel is learning to write, here's this other one, some drawings, a lot of text. As she's learning to read, she's learning to write. And this saves her life. Because as you know, war is brutal, and there are going to be civilian casualties. And that is the hardest part for death. For anybody, really. And my favorite thing that he says comes at the end. It's the last thing he tells the reader. I am haunted by humans. What does it mean for the embodiment of death to be haunted by humans, by humanity? Not good things, I suppose. But again, like I said, he's a character, or it's a character that struggles to reconcile these polar opposites, this pure, vile evil and this kind-heartedness and warmth seen. Both the same species, both in the same country at the very least, and around the world too. Of course, he sees death everywhere. But it is really just something very powerful to think about, and I love this book for that. And I'm excited to talk about it with my students. I'm sure they're going to be devastated, but who knows? Let me know what you think of this book. I love it, and I hope you do too. If you don't, let me know what issues you have with the book. Thank you.